Hey everyone, welcome back. Jeff again, Elite Sports Shooting. Today what I got a cleaning video of the Beretta A300 Ultima. The A3 Ultima is a gas operated system, so the Beretta A300 does need more cleaning than an inertia operating system. So what I usually do is give a quick shout out to the GUGULUZA and Jielisi Gun Socks. The GUGULUZA and the Jielisi Gun Socks, I have them on all of my shotguns in my cabinet. The reason I have the Jielisi is GUGULUZA sold out and I needed more gun socks. I usually give them away to people and stuff like that when I borrow guns or when I'm at a shoot or something like that. So anyways, these gun socks I get on Amazon, and they get them for about $8-9 a piece. I've seen them from $17 to $25 each for each one of them. It's insane, and I see them all over the place. I just think they're kind of ridiculously priced. So anyways, if you're in the market for them, have a look. Just Amazon, they come right to your door. I'm a big fan. So anyways, before I start this cleaning video, what I need to do is resituate, recalibrate my lighting, my camera, my stand, everything, because I do it point of view so you can actually see exactly what I'm doing. So if you give me a second, I will just change the shop around and then get back to you. Alright, so a couple of things I like to have on hand. I have a towel that I normally just clean everything on. It's mainly just for the guns because I don't want them to scratch against anything. I'm very particular about my firearms. I have an old receiving blanket. I do have old t-shirts that I use as well. I have some just blue shop towel, gun bore cleaner, G96 gun treatment, just regular gun oil, and that's pretty much it. I got my bore scrubber, my barrel scrubber, as well as a ramrod or a punch for the barrel as well. So let's take the 4-end cap off. Okay, take the 4-end cap off, take the 4-end grip off, and now let's pull off that barrel. Inside here is the gas piston. And then I grab my screwdriver or anything that you want to prop the gun up on. I take a file. I use a file or pretty much anything. You can use any kind of small punch. Now it's a two-way roll pin that just pops out like that. Put that back there, put the roll pin there, and now I'm just gonna rock the trigger group forward. I can either, it's in the firing position, so I'll probably just put the safety on. Then it's gonna push back, or you can push back up here. It is spring loaded. Pull off the charging handle and then pull the bolt right out. So now we're pretty easy peasy. I have cleaned this several times. I actually did clean this not long ago. I did a cleaning video. I didn't like the way it turned out. I didn't like the way the audio turned out. So I've been playing with my audio settings a little bit. So we're going to take the G96 gun solvent and put it and just spray everything off. Now this is a gas gun. You can actually hear Milo, my dog, in the background. Milo is 80 pounds now. There is more moving parts in here than in my A400. So the trigger group actually isn't too bad. Pull that trigger and just check it out in there. Make sure there's sometimes there is a fair bit of carbon buildup, and I'll just take a nice soft rag, clean part, and just kind of wipe everything down. If this is really dirty, then I will put some G96 gun treatment on it. But as you can tell, everything that I've wiped so far is not, it's not even dirty. It's still pretty clean from the last time I cleaned it. But I wanted to do a cleaning video on this. I did have a subscriber that wanted to do a cleaning video, wanted me to let them know when we're doing a cleaning video. It's actually, I don't know if I actually cleaned that Carlson choke tube. It spins off pretty easy. Yeah, there's a fair bit of carbon buildup in there. And we're going to spray those threads really well. The carbon builds up in here, especially in the A300. Not so much in that A400, but in the A300. When I had it down the range, it was snowing, and I brought it home and I gave it a good cleaning. I just want to make sure that I get a good coating. Oh, I better spray inside the receiver as well. Alright, so now that everything is good and coated, a gas gun uses spent gas to reload the next round versus an inertia. I did do an inertia cleaning just before Christmas on my Retake Gordian, and I was surprised. I had put about the same amount of rounds through the A300 as I did the Retake Gordian, and I was pretty shocked to see that the Retake Gordian, it really didn't need to be cleaned. I was pretty shocked. If I'm going to the range, I generally reach for my gas guns. I reach for my Maxxis 2 or the Remington Versamax. I have been taking the Gearson MC312 just because I want to do a cleaning video on it, because I've got 3,500 to 4,000 rounds through it. So I'm getting kind of excited to do a cleaning video on that. Alright, so Now, see, that gas piston was still fairly dirty. I already did one cleaning video on that. Clean inside the gas. And that was pretty dirty too. There, now we're doing a little bit better. And I'll clean everything right inside this receiver. There's nothing in there I have to worry about snagging. All right. So I called this a beaver tail and I was corrected. It's actually called a link. I think it looks like a beaver tail, but it's correct terminology, right? So this has to go in just right. I'm literally trying to do it without sticking my head in front of the camera. I noticed that last time I did a cleaning video, I stuck my head in front of the camera all the time. So you can see that there is a plunger mechanism right here that the tip of that link goes right down into it. See if I can do it just perfectly, just like that. And I'm going to take my charging handle. As you can see, the key cut, it's like a key cut. You gotta push back the bolt just a little bit, and once it slides in, it actually locks into place. And there's a little bit of pressure that holds that in place as well. But the key is to make sure that the link is put inside that piston, because that's spring loaded. So, and of course I forgot to put that on. All right, so we're going to put the bolt back together, and we got to remember this piece literally goes like that, and then you slide the whole thing on top of, just like that, and then it slides back. Once you get the bolt in place, slide this up to it and hook on it, and then it just literally slides in. Just as easy as that too, right? All right, so now we're going to put it all back together. What you want to make sure that you do is these have to go all together all at once. So, and that literally slides right into there. So I want to make sure that this slides right into the receiver, because this can be a little on the tricky side. I'm going to try not to stick my head in front of the camera this time. And then this slides over top of the magazine tube, and it literally just fits in there like a key. Now, everything just slides in, but this is the tricky part. This, I call it a beaver tail. It looks like a beaver's tail. It literally has to, see how it rocks forward like that? It actually goes right in to that piston that goes inside the stock, just like that. And then we'll take the charging handle, and it goes right in here, but you gotta put a little bit of pressure onto that, the front of that bolt. It's like a key. The key actually goes towards the back, slides right in and snaps right in. Alright, so we're going to put it all back together. Let me put this back together, and then it all goes on. It's hard for me to actually look at this without getting my head down in there. This is where it all gets kind of tricky. I usually stick my head and I can look around, and this all goes back together like a key. And then what I call a beaver tail is not a beaver tail. Is a, they call it a link. I think it looks like a beaver tail, but I was corrected, and I appreciate that. So you can see that it's all spring loaded. Take a little bit of the pressure off. Now the key part, the back of that key, that faces to the back of the stock, and it literally just pushes in and locks in place. And we're going to put the gas piston back in the tube. The trigger group is a little different than the A400. Literally just, this literally goes in this hole back over here, and then it just rocks forward. Now you shouldn't have to put a whole lot of emphasis on pounding this back in. It just needs a little tap. Then I still haven't cleaned the choke tube. Now this is a mobile choke tube. Don't get it mixed up with the choke tubes from the A400, because they run the Optima choke system. I found all this stuff out the hard way. Just a little gun oil on it. I just let it wrap around, just all the way around the tube. Now we're just going to give the barrel a quick scrub. Now, I know there's guys out there that love the, you know, putting a patch through. I'm not a huge or too much of a patch fan myself. I just take some paper towel, scrunch it all up, and then I'll ram her down the barrel. Fold it up a different way, just so it's, if you're a patch guy, then you're a patch guy, but this is just what I do. I find this works better for me. And I ran out of patches, and I wasn't about to drive down to the gun store to pick up some patches, or I guess I could order them on Amazon. One more run through. I'm going to do it one more time because it did seem kind of dirty. Make sure those threads are good and clean. Yep, good and clean. Alright, so we're going to set that aside. Now the oil is wrapped all the way around on the threads on the extended choke tube. It goes in effortlessly when it's nice and clean, but when it's dirty, boy, I tell you. There. The choke tube is good and tight. Now, you may have to pull the action back a little bit. Setting her up on her side is probably the best. And that's how easy it is. Sometimes it just gets stuck. The hard part is getting her back. If you lock that action wide open, I've got so many different guns, so many different shotguns that they're all so different. They all have their little quirks. Another one of the shotguns that I clean, the A300, I don't have to open the action, it just slides in all together. The A300, you have to open the action. I will say the A400, the way you just give it a third turn and she's off, that's pretty awesome. There we go. she's all clean. Alright, so after she's all back together, I pick her up and I give her a quick cycle, make sure that everything is operating the way it should. There we go. So that's it on the cleaning. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you haven't yet, click that subscribe button. Go ahead and do so. I'm going to redo that. Alright, so after you're done cleaning, you want to make sure you just rack the action a little bit, just to make sure everything is operating correctly. If something's stuck or something like that, you might have to, take it apart and redo it again. But anyways, that's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you hadn't yet hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. And if you like the content of the video, click that like button. I really appreciate it. And always remember to keep both eyes on your target. Thank you, everyone.